The Pathways Alliance is a collaboration between Canada's 6 largest oil sands producers, Canadian Natural, Cenovus, ConocoPhillips, Imperial, Meg Energy, and Suncor, which operate facilities representing 95% of oil sands production in Alberta. My name is Ty Vaness. I'm the Director of Monitoring with the Pathways Alliance in representation of industry to the Oil Sands Monitoring Program, a regional monitoring initiative that is overseen by the Government of Alberta in partnership with the Government of Canada. The purpose of this presentation is to provide you with a brief history of the Oil Sands Monitoring Program, or OSM. Prior to 2010, there was increasing scientific, Indigenous, and public concern regarding inconsistent and often opposing reporting of research and monitoring findings, lack of open and transparent access to monitoring information, increasing national and international concern regarding appropriate environmental stewardship, adequacy, and scientific rigor of monitoring programs, and an unprecedented rate of growth within oil sands development. In 2010, a federal oil sands advisory panel reviewed current monitoring activities and identified key shortcomings and recommendations to develop a world-class monitoring program for the oil sands region. In 2011, the Royal Society of Canada provided an independent assessment of the state of environmental and health impacts of Canada's oil sands industry. Additionally, in 2011, the Alberta Provincial Oil Sands Advisory Panel recommended an improved province-wide environmental monitoring system. In 2017, a memorandum of understanding was developed with the intent of creating a design and implementation of an integrated monitoring, evaluation, and reporting system that included the acquisition of reporting of regional monitoring data on baseline environmental conditions, tracking any environmental impacts, and the assessment of cumulative environmental effects due to oil sands development. This was followed by an operational framework agreement and letter of agreement that was signed by several local Indigenous communities. The Oil Sands Monitoring Program's vision statement is fostering a sustainable future for the Alberta oil sands region through a collaborative and multi-stakeholder driven regional environmental monitoring program, empowering Indigenous communities, industry, governments, and the wider public to work together in understanding cumulative impacts to the environment while supporting responsible resource development. The OSM mandate is to evaluate the contribution of oil sands development through cumulative effects monitoring using multiple knowledge systems. It is a science and traditional knowledge-based monitoring system to inform management and decision-making. The strategic objectives of OSM are 1, to be risk-based, adaptive, and cost-effective. 2, to include community-based monitoring and regional compliance requirements. 3, to be effective through governance, including all OSM participants in decision-making. And 4, to assure accessible and credible data and reporting on cumulative environmental impacts due to oil sands development. OSM governance. OSM is overseen by co-chairs from both the Government of Alberta through Alberta Environment and Protected Areas and the Government of Canada through Environment and Climate Change Canada. Ultimate decision-making authority is up to the Assistant Deputy Minister, and Minister of both departments. The governance of the program is made up of 3 caucuses: Indigenous Caucus, which is made up of First Nations and Métis sub-caucuses, Government Caucus, and Industry Caucus. The program includes an oversight committee, Science and Indigenous Knowledge Integration Committee, and several technical advisory committees that inform on thematic environmental areas such as air and deposition, aquatics or water, groundwater, wetlands, and terrestrial biological monitoring. An Indigenous community-based monitoring advisory committee is also within the OSM governance structure. This committee oversees and empowers through support for community-based monitoring programs led by local communities within the oil sands region. The OSM program is supported by an oil sands monitoring program office, which is made up of staff from both the Government of Alberta and Government of Canada in support of administering the program. The OSM governance model holds representatives that embody the broader voice of their respective communities or organizations through the caucuses, including Indigenous, industry, and government. Each caucus determines and selects participants for each committee within the governance structure of OSM. OSM is designed to facilitate inclusive multi-stakeholder relationships and active participation with the intention of decision-making through consensus. OSM's governance structure strives for timely and transparent decisions regarding monitoring priorities, annual work plans, and budgetary allocation. Governance allows for decisions that are programmatic in nature to not disproportionately favor particular sectors. OSM employs an adaptive monitoring approach to inform the continuous improvement of monitoring design. Adaptive monitoring supports addressing the following. Is there change in media, i.e., what is baseline, what is the range of normal variability, and what changes have communities identified? Is the monitored change due to oil sands development, i.e., can you describe the source, pathway, and receptor? Are there conceptual models to inform monitoring design? Is there attribution of cause or investigation of cause that would inform monitoring design? And what are the cumulative effects due to oil sands development? Under this adaptive monitoring approach, monitoring effort works to adapt continuously to changing conditions and/or changes in knowledge. Monitoring is focused on answering key questions within each thematic area of interest, i.e., water, air, terrestrial biology, and wetlands. The monitoring system relies on decision triggers to both decrease and increase monitoring effort. It adapts to changing conditions and knowledge, adopts new monitoring techniques and analytical approach, provides data necessary for an integrated cumulative effects assessment, and provides opportunities for cost efficiencies, develops synergies by focusing questions, and reduces duplication of effort. Indigenous knowledge holders have been practicing traditional lifestyles since time immemorial and hold valuable knowledge to recognizing environmental change. Understanding the inextricable link between cultural practices and ecosystem health is an important step in determining the overall state of the environment. When traditional ways of living are no longer possible, there is an assumption that the environment is unhealthy. Indigenous knowledge and observations of change in association with oil sands development are common across all themes of interest, including water quality and quantity, air quality, fish and wildlife health, and vegetation health. Community-based monitoring, as a braiding of Western science and Indigenous knowledge, works to support the establishment of causalities of environmental change and provides greater certainty in monitoring design, while also seeking answers to the ultimate questions regarding air, water, and land safety and security and natural resources. Through OSM, community-based monitoring continues to grow through integration of Western science-based monitoring initiatives, as well as community-developed and managed monitoring programs that work to support and address community concerns. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to me at tyler.vaness@pathwaysalliance.ca. Thank you.